everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here with Painted Studios. Welcome back. And we are working today on fun Valentine's things. I'm not going to dawdle with a lot of chitter chatter today. We're going to dive right into our projects. So here, I got to reach things. Last week we did this darling heart with the highlights and the shadows, and we're going to do another one of those today. I've started our pattern already on a red heart. This is our Tree of Life stencil. I think that's what it's called. That's what I remember it being. I have to look at it. Enlightenment stencil. Sorry, forgot the name. So we're going to work on that a little bit. And I just wanted to show you how we finished off with our mushrooms. First of all, this is our little Valentine's German lady, which I just think is the cutest thing. And we're going to do a couple more. We have them in red and white, so we're going to have a bouquet of colors. Hey, Beverly and Sue Walters, nice to see you here. And then we also have a couple of little mason jars cut out, and I actually got smart this time and pre-drilled them before I painted them. So we have red and white mason jar, pink and white, red mason jar. We have some more hearts, but those might not make it in. Not everything's going to make it into the live today. Oh, Desiree, welcome back. See you. And I know you just said you're gonna run out, but so I completely hear you on that. Don't worry about it. We'll see you back when you can make it back. All right, I'm gonna flip down. We're going to reposition our stencil first. So clearly I stenciled this one ahead of time just to get our time going. I need to put a little more light on. And so now I have to reposition the stencil so I can make sure I put it the next placement correctly. And I just have to kind of look through some stuff here to figure out that's where it goes. Okay. So I'm using the registration marks. Obviously that's not going to put a whole lot of shape on there, but I do need to get it all stenciled in, and then I'll move it around and see if I can't get some more in. And of course, I'm so smart. I left my stencil brush over sitting on the other table. Hang on a sec. I'd already used one today, but it's sitting in water, soaking wet. You can't use a wet stencil brush because all it does is make the paint liquid and then it bleeds everywhere. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have this sitting here correctly. So I've lined up my stencil to give me just the tiniest bit of that tree base. Offload a little bit. Oh, I know, that was it's going to make a hugely dramatic difference here. But it is part of how we have to lay the patterns out. And I don't want to forget just even the littlest bits. And if it looks like nothing, I'll paint over it later. And might not get much in the way of a great pattern repeat here. Might just be the way it goes. So that goes there. Now there's already spray adhesive on the back of this from the first time I did that, so did the stencil, so I'm not worried about movement or anything. All right, so I've got that stenciled there. And I think what I'm just gonna do, maybe, since I don't like how that sat, but I do wanna bring in more of this tree pattern, I'm gonna create my own repeat here. And I'm just gonna offset it. Because I really thought, that was kind of a letdown. Okay, I'm gonna take a bunch of paint on my brush like that, and then I am offloading 90% of it. Because if your brush is wet when you do this, if it's overloaded with paint, that's a huge problem for seeping under the stencil. Give that a second, because this will dry in almost instantaneously. We're putting on so thin, and I want to put it a little more to make it more opaque. that. That came out nicely. And then we're going to go over here and do the same. Make sure I get it lined up so it looks the same as the other side. I think I got it. Let's see, make that a little more that way. Oops, I knocked it. There we go. Paint's still there. As you can see, I do a swirling method. That pouncing method like this, I only do it very occasionally when I have an area that might not work well with the swirling. But most of the time I do the swirling. A, it goes faster, and B, this motion seems to keep paint from going under more, because when you pounce down like this, your bristles can splay out and go under the stencil. Whereas if you're swirling, that doesn't happen. Although I do have a loose hair here. Come on. There we go. Alrighty. So now we have our pattern all laid out, and that in itself just looks so pretty on there. Look how pretty that looks. Okay. This is our Enlightenment stencil on one of our 12-inch wooden hearts, and I just love how that came out. That's so pretty. Super pretty. Now we're going to do some highlights and some shadows. Now, you saw I worked with a small brush before. This is an even tinier pattern, so I'm going to have to work with an even smaller brush. I think this one is, I can't see the number on it here. I've used it so much I've painted over the number of the type of brush I'm using. Sorry, everybody, I can't do that for you. All right, so again, we're going to pick a light source, meaning we're going to choose the direction the light comes in so you can create highlights and shadows consistently. And like I did the last time, for me, because I'm left-handed, it's just easier if I create a light source that's 45 degrees coming in from the left. Now, if you're right-handed, you might actually find it easier just to do it the other way. Seriously, it doesn't matter. And I have a little tiny spot on here that did not get covered in paint, and I don't know how I missed that. So let me grab a little red, or maybe I rubbed it off. There. Oh, I see. I got a little pink smear. That's what happened. All right, so let's fix that. All right, so the light is going to be coming at a 45-degree angle from top to bottom, which means everything that's facing on this side will get a highlight. Everything that's behind it, if I was coming this way, would have a shadow. So tops get highlights, bottoms get shadows. So let's start with something easy to see right there. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing better. That is, if it lets me. All right, so let me place this so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Need my water closer. And I'm just dipping in. Again, this is this Snow White metallic set coat. And this just happens to be the same paint that I've been using for everything, so it makes it really easy for me to have it right here for the highlights. And I come up over here. And again, I'm not going for perfect. I just want the implication. As you remember from the other stencil, oops, I'm going to try to put pink on there. Good grief. Pay attention to what you're doing, Maury. Like I did with the other one. Just remember where your light source is, and if you get stuck on it, stop and think. Okay, I'll get that there. Now, not everybody loves doing this. This is like a happy thing for me. I put on a movie, I sit quietly and I do this, and it makes me so happy and so relaxed. I know that's not how it works for everybody. That's how it works for me. All right, let's put a few more in here. And I'm just gonna do the highlights on one section here so that I'll do the shadows in a minute, and then we'll move on to another project, because this is gonna take a while. And so once I get off the camera with you, I'm gonna sit here and turn on either a book or a movie or something and just enjoy myself doing this. Oh, there we go. So I've gotten that spot. Let me get the branch. Okay. I think I got all of that. Let me go back up here because the highlights were a little vague right there. I got this one. Okay, so I've highlighted that whole spot, and now I have to come in and do a shadow. Now, I don't happen to have any of the red that I need mixed up, so I'm going to show you how I do it. And I'm going to go back into the same paint tray that I have been using. Let me turn this so you can see it. This is little Faux Effects Set Coat Red in here. I'll take out a little more if I can get it. This is the back very tag end of a jar, so hopefully it'll last me through this project. Okay, I've got that. And then I'm gonna add, now normally I might add a darker red or something, but we're on a really vivid red background, so I'm just gonna add some black faux cream color, which is Faux Effects colorant. You can use it on its own or as a colorant. It has acrylic binders in it. Sorry, I'm shaking this because it was sitting and I want to make sure I just don't squirt out a whole lot of clear liquid and no colorant. There we go, there's that. Let me get a little mixing stick here, since I actually remember to put some near me. So I just need this to act like a shadow. And I don't want black, because black is not the color of shadows. Black is the absence of color. Shadows actually have color. They're a deeper color of whatever it is the shadow is cast on. Okay, so I got kind of a nice maroony brick red here, and that'll work well. Okay, let's put my stick to the side. Let me get my heart back here. Rinse out my brush, and here we are back working. So I'm going to take this black, and this is the black. Again, it's not black, it's like a maroon brick color mixed with Set Coat, regular Set Coat red, no metallics, Set Coat red, and Faux Effects faux cream color black. So I'm just going to do this in here. You know, that looks a little too black still, so I'm going to put a little more red in it. And that's what happens. Sometimes you have to do a little test to see how you like it, and I didn't like it. So I'm going to put some more red in the dish, and I'm going to make it a little more red, a little less black, because even though I could tell it was red here on the heart, it read too black. It's too dark, not the right thing. Let's get that better. I'm sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. I forgot I'm zoomed in. So I'll put some more Set Coat Red into my paint. Just mixing it up and making it a little less dark than I had before. So now it's sort of a wine color. And if you're wondering why I'm mixing it this way, I'm scraping it off of the paint that's underneath it and then squishing it up against here. It's just an easy way to mix. It smashes everything together nicely. Instead of trying to do it down here where the puddle would spread bigger and bigger, this way I'm kind of consolidating it and mixing it better. People always ask me why I do stuff, so now I just sort of tell everybody why I do it before they've asked. Okay, now, if you have sweaty palms or you get your hands dirty, put a piece of fabric under your hand. That's a great tip to keep you from getting dirty hands on surfaces. Mine's not that dirty, so I'm not that worried. All right, so I get some nice shadows going. Get a little more water on my brush. That's a little wetter than I wanted. So when something like that happens, it's a little wetter than you want. Don't wipe it, blot it. Because if you wipe it, you'll smear it. If you blot it, you'll just lift it off the surface. How that's looking. Oh, that's got some nice depth to it now. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Oh, I'm happy with this. Now, I know this is not the most exciting thing to watch. That's why I'm only doing this one little section. And then we'll move on to the other stuff. Let's make sure I got everything that needs a little shadow on it, because this is a very detailed, tiny pattern, so we have to go back, revisit, reinvestigate, make sure you got it all. I think I got just about all of it. If I missed it, I'll go catch it on the second round. All right, so you can see now the difference between the stencil and the highlight and the detail. I love how that looks. Yeah, that makes such a difference. All right, let me flip up for a second. Zoom back out so you're not looking up my nose. All right, let me see if I've missed any questions. I know we only happen to have a bunch of people earlier, so I want to see if I missed something. Hey, Kathy Brown, nice to see you. Nope, nobody has any questions. I think I'm being pretty straightforward in what we're doing today, which is awesome. And then I think what we might do, just to keep it fun and easy, is we're going to do one more cutout. So I'm going to flip this down and go back to our cutouts. So let's see. Oops, I went too far. So here's this one. This is the blank one that I just painted. Let's line them up here. Here we go. This was the original from 1975. This was the one that I did for Valentine's Day. Finished that one up today, which is still the cutest thing ever. So now we're going to take a white one and we're going to use pink and reds on it. Why? Because I got all those colors already here waiting to be used. Now I think I'm going to need a little more red poured out because clearly I turned the red that was in there another color. But we'll start with the pink. And we're going to, On here, we're going to treat the pink the same way I used the white. So let me find my brush, if I can find it. I think this was actually the one I was using. Yep. This one had a nice little bit of spring to it. That worked well for me. And this one is Robert Simmons white sable brush, number 4. Everybody wants to know what my brushes are, so I don't know if I can get that so you can see that. There you go. So now the first thing we do is build the hat the same way we did here. And I have to flip these around because a lot of this depends on your brush stroke. Let me pull that other brush. I think that might be a little wider. I like to play with my brushes until I get the right one for what I'm doing, and sometimes it takes a couple strokes. All right, so here's the hair. And here we go with this. And we're going to make the eyes. And I'll zoom in again so you can see what I'm doing. I think that would help a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in and do the eyes. And I think this curl just needs a little touch up right there. And I hope my head's not blocking the view because I just needed to see a little closer. Okay, there's that. And then we do the bow. These are very rustic, very sweet, very simple, and I love them so much. These bring me back to my childhood. So there's the bow. You're going to be, this takes so little time to do these once you've got the colors on, which makes it so much fun to do because you get such a quick result. I am not a one-stroke painter. I know some of y'all are Donna Dewberry one-stroke people. I never learned that, so I do everything maybe in 2 strokes. Sometimes I have to come back. Got that on there. Get some water on my brush. Consistency of the paint is key, and I like mine the consistency of Campbell's tomato soup when you add water to it. And that's a good consistency for me to get things spread and done. Let's do 3 stripes, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. And let's do a little wiggle on the foot. So we've got those done. And that'll take a second to dry, so I'll pour myself out a little bit of red set coat, and I think I'm just gonna put it here on the, oh, there's some on the lid, how convenient. I'm just gonna use what's on the lid because I don't need very much of it, and if I take too much, it's gonna make a heck of a mess. So let's start here at the top again. The rosy cheeks. And the little heart-shaped mouth. And that I do actually have to turn this right side up for. The problem with me doing something upside down is sometimes I can get my angles off, so the whole face right now is a little crooked. Okay, so there's a little heart-shaped mouth there. Let's put a little heart in our bow. Let's keep my fingers out of the wet paint. Let's see. Now, normally when I'm doing a bunch of these, I'm doing them all the same color at once. So by the time I finish the last one, I'm coming back and I'm working on the first one again. I usually don't work on these with wet paint still on them. All right, let's do the little hearts over here. Oh, these are so cute. I just love these. And we cannot forget the buttons or the hearts on the sleeve. Okay, there's that. Let's get that done and that done. And there we have another color story in that. How cute. Now I have a last one to do in red. And it will be the same as this, just, you know, the reverse in colors. So look how cute these came out. I am so pleased with these. They don't look like much unpainted, but once you do them, oh, they're so precious. I love them. All right, let me push this out of the way. And I'm lifting carefully because I've got a little paint on my fingers and I'm trying not to smear it on the back because I will do the backs of these too. All right, everybody. I think we're, whoops. Flipped up too high. I think we're about done for the day. I'm going to back up so you're not looking up my nose. I appreciate you all popping in. The cutouts are available at paintedstudio.com, as are the paints. If you don't see them on the website, of course, send me a message and I will help you find them. That's what I'm here for. And I hope you all are gearing up for a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.